Hi guys, this is let's introduce ourselves. I'm Trevo,
I'm Luis.
I'm Zach.
I'm Tim.
and this is a little. We found out that we have a webcam, and we just finished up recording and talking about recording our first meeting for the Anime Talk blog. In there, you're going to find us talking about a presentation that I did about anime and transnational cultures. But from that talk is a lot of themes and ideas that we're going to dig into in future meetings just like this one. And we hope to see you there in the future. We're going to upload the audio recording, didn't have a webcam footage, onto YouTube so that you can listen at your own time. Feel free to fast forward at 1.25, 1.5 with that little
2.0 if you're feeling risky.
you're feeling risky. But I'm really excited. I can imagine we are excited about where we're going with this talk block. It's not mandatory, it's just in our free time, but we think it's a valuable use of our free time, exploring what anime means in this globalized world, not just global, but like in our personal lives. I mean, if you're watching this, you probably like anime, and you want to know more about it. This guy, he's hijacking the anime club so he can make it as bad as possible for us.
Yeah.
That's why he's the president. No, Luis is great. Love Luis. And so hope you enjoy the audio recording. Watch out for newsletters written by our VP Zach over here about meetings, which are in.
It'll be Anderson Student Center, 2:38, 7:30 till 9:30.
Cool.
And later for more fun.
For more fun if you want to stay. And there will be more stuff related to this talk block and videos that will be rolled out soon. So watch out for that. Things are going to get really fun. Enjoy the recording.
Trash man.
Welcome everybody to our first meeting of the Anime Talk block, titled actual name to be determined, although we might stick with it. This is Trevo, also known as Tony. Introduce the rest of yourselves.
Yeah, who are you people? Well, I'm Luis Castellanos. I'm the president for Anime Society here at UST for 2016 to 2017.
I'm Zach Schreier. I'm the vice president and crazy anime nerd.
I'm Tim Callies. I watch anime.
Okay, so we're set. Today we will be getting right to it, which is the theme of our thing right now. Oh, and I should give Luis maybe I should script.
I can just do this.
Nice.
Luis just
This
made
is cool
the thing
Windows
go.
shit right here. Oh wait, can we say shit? Are we PG-13?
Yeah, this will just be among us.
Okay,
Fine.
yeah, just
PG-13.
maybe lay up the F word, but otherwise it's fair game.
Definitely.
Okay, so Luis will be writing down script notes for listeners out there who want to know what happens at what time. Today we'll only be talking for 35 minutes, and I guess we'll have an epilogue. So Luis, write down epilogue. So, what other? Oh yeah, nice. We are using OneNote, and it is so great. Look at that. It's got two. It already made a table for us, right? Epilogue. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now go to. forget it.
We can worry about spelling later.
It's Lelouch Epilouge. Go to Excel.
We're already making jokes without any reference.
It has a code GitS.
Never seen
Yeah,
it.
but some people don't know
I
that.
guess
What's it
not.
called? Yeah, like me.
What's the code?
I should watch it some year.
Double click on it. I don't know why it's doing that. So our first theme today is getting right to it. How did you start watching, and why do or don't you keep watching? And the media that we're going to use is I'm Trevo again. I did a presentation on anime and transnational culture and flows for this one event called Troubling Waters on November 9th, the day after the election. I got totally shafted. No one cared. Well, some people cared. Some people
I
cared.
cared.
Zach cared. Thank you, Zach. Did you hear that? Did you hear? We gotta make that handshake. This is a podcast. You gotta hear it. They gotta hear it.
Manly handshakes.
Manly handshakes.
Just for clarification, they were just slapping their hands, not nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah. So, but I got a good presentation out, and now we're going to revisit it. In terms of content. So how about we just run through it? We will share this with anybody who emails the president, the vice president, or me, and we'll provide that in the show notes. I guess I'm gonna call it show notes now. Press next. Oh, where'd the SpongeBob video go? I guess
That one didn't show up.
We don't need it.
we don't need it. So,
You know.
so
That's not relevant.
the point is, on the first slide we have, or on the fourth slide, we have a comparison between Sailor Moon and SpongeBob, and these aren't necessarily arbitrary. They might not be the best comparisons, but the idea is we have a Western cartoon versus an Eastern cartoon, and both do have migrated around the world, or their reach is global, but Sailor Moon has a sort of different legacy. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what you think of Sailor Moon when you hear it spoken?
Shoujo Senshi, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, they're fun.
It's just magical girls. That's all I know about it.
It's just a cartoon that was too late for me to watch, and I'd just rather watch SpongeBob, I guess, when I was a kid. No, just I was thinking back about it, like, I'd rather watch SpongeBob than Sailor Moon because, like, I didn't get it. Like, why are they having a transition every time they have to fight a monster?
I mean,
Then again, I did watch Power Rangers, so I'd be a hypocrite there.
if I was a kid and I wanted to watch anime, I probably wouldn't watch Sailor Moon. I would have watched something like,
Naruto.
yeah, like Naruto.
Okay, so we got a couple of different opinions going on here, and I wasn't fishing for like appeal as much as like personal appeal, but rather just just honest opinion. So you would rather watch Naruto or SpongeBob just because they were like more familiar, that you could understand what Sailor Moon was going for.
Sailor Moon is a show about girls. That was not appealing to young me.
Hell no.
Maybe to a slightly older young me.
So,
Nice.
But no one's like familiar with how. Press start slideshow.
Got it.
Yeah, that's why nothing's working.
I mean, I will say this. I do understand the legacy of it, and Sailor Moon is amazing legacy for like how it established the magical girl trope and genre. It's just like, you know, thinking back on it.
Or rather, it subverted. There were magical girls, but it like took it several steps further.
Exactly, yeah. And like kind of like started like the I don't know, like how cool it is. Like people just like this idea. And but I'm an American. I like my Western animation first because that was the first thing I watched as a kid.
Sure. And so let's jump off that. We don't need to stay at Sailor Moon. What? Okay, so now it's actually working. Here, let's play a little bit of. No,
Oh, yeah,
actually.
there's a link.
We don't need the SpongeBob.
Okay.
Yeah, forget SpongeBob.
Love SpongeBob. Here we
Oh,
go.
I don't
But
want to
we're-
see
but we're already
SpongeBob.
kids.
There we go.
We're watching Sailor Moon.
Oh no.
Just click on watch on YouTube. No, click on watch on YouTube. That's what I did. Yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna get copied.
So you think you didn't see the sort of action? The idea of Sailor Moon is that it was the show for girls. They had action. They had like really not cool, but they had villains. There was like a plot progression. There was growth of the characters. But you wouldn't guess that just by looking at it. It just sort of seems like a mashup of images, right? And it's kind of all right. Yeah.
Oh, she knew his name was Shoujo
There we go,
Senshi.
Saturn.
Oh yeah, Saturn. I'm more of a
But back to the presentation. But you mentioned Naruto in terms of like just the visual action, the appeal of visual action, and you mentioned SpongeBob because it's more Western. But none of us have seen Sailor Moon in its entirety, right? But I guess that doesn't matter. What?
No. I've seen parts of it, but not entire.
All right, let's move on. I don't know how clear of an idea we're getting here, but I think we can move on to this image, which is the slide with the icebergs. There's this idea called the iceberg theory, where on top you have the visible culture, where it's like the cosplay, the actual show, the way people present the show, like Zach's wearing a Full Metal Alchemist T-shirt. That's a visual culture. But underneath that is like this whole realm of stuff that you don't see, of how people believe, the way people operate in their day-to-day lives. They could be introverted, extroverted, and what watching anime or what participating in anime reflects. So we can read some of the stuff here. The observable stuff is like behaviors, but then not observable is the interpretations and core values. So, and this is important because anime has been like doing this dance between a thing that's mainly a Japanese thing, but now its interpretation has been so mutated and transformed in all these ways across the world over time. So let's move on. these are a couple of anecdotes I brought up. I went to this event called Macadamia, which is a academic conference, academic in quotes, at the Minnesota College of Art and Design, or MCAT, where you have these like scholars coming together and they talk about anime in presenting an essay sort of thing. And after one of the essays or one of the keynote panels, there was an audience member who was a Japanese teacher who told us about a time when he was trying to introduce Sailor Moon in a kindergarten class. But he was told no, or not told no, but it didn't go well because there was a girl with a hijab who said, "Why are they dressed that way?" And I'm not nothing against the hijab, but this is an illustration of a difference, an instance of a difference in values. And at the presentation, one of the professors asked me, "What would I tell the hijab girl about Sailor Moon?" I really couldn't come up with an answer. I was trying to dig for like an analog in Western like cartoons, like an action show, like an Avatar, but I think that's not quite.
That's true.
I will say this, like that was a really loaded question, to be honest, because like I felt like it was gonna be like a lot of questions on your way, whatever way you answered it, because like this is an example of like two different cultures that's encountering each other, and I felt like he was asking like, what would you say to the girl to like sorry, but we're gonna be learning about this, or like sorry, but we this is kind of like our way, because I don't know why, it's just like it's a really loaded question to say, because this is holy crap, because you got this culture was the girl was a hijab, and then this culture where you see these girls in like very beautiful uniforms. However, they're showing a lot of skin too.
Right, and it's not like this is what
Like
Japanese
today's.
women wear on a day-to-day basis.
Mhm.
This is a fiction. This is a piece of fantasy, supernatural fiction, and the sailor suit. Not to mention, the idea of the sailor suit is borrowed from like European sailors, and that's like incorporated into the uniform and some other things. So it's not just like the hijab girl saying no to a purely Japanese thing. This purely Japanese thing is a mishmash of other things. It's loaded because, and I agree with you, the loaded, and I'm going to qualify that with how just having this meeting requires the people participating to have a level of context, like in order to not like feel uncomfortable in a certain way, because talking about anime is stigmatic in ways, but
Yeah, you're definitely not gonna bring it up to like a group of new friends. Like, hey, did you watch the latest episode of JoJo? Did you watch Naruto last night or so?
What about Keijo?
You could say Naruto,
But
they're Keijo.
if they're watching Keijo, they know what's up. They would know what Crunchyroll is, or Funimation, or like illegal streaming. So it's like,
It depends, because like maybe like me, I'll say like, hey dude, maybe like one of the dude bros here, like I'll say, hey dude, did you ever watch Bible Black? What's it called, Bible Black?
Oh
Or, like,
God.
hey, look at this Boku no Pico shit. Oh god.
just like any dude, bro.
I mean, like just to screw with
You can say Boku no
I mean,
Pico.
I'm not saying I would, but
well
like
accepted.
there are those situations, especially read on the internet, and I'm not saying like they're all always true. However, there is gonna be like one kid that has done it, and then there's gonna be some people that are aware of it.
Oh shit, are we keeping track of scribblings?
Like screwlings?
The script notes.
Oh, scripts. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Pull it up.
I really didn't. Yeah, let's keep the script notes on the laptop, and then we can.
Gotcha.
I'll take the keyboard. Thank you. You can estimate the time. Sorry, folks listening. This is our first meeting, so we're working through technical.
We're
difficulties.
professionals
here.
We're professionals. Yeah, we're
Read
gonna
the
charge
podcast.
you to listen to this podcast. No, the future we'll try to make this cleaner. If you come to these meetings, this will be more fun. So yeah, come and you can be a part of the podcast. So we're gonna move on. I'm sure whatever questions that would have emerged here will emerge later as we talk. And so there was another anecdote. Same Japanese teacher tried to bring Astro Boy into the classroom, and one of the teachers protested because I don't know how much it was like a direct, hey, Astro Boy, nuclear warfare and stuff, you can't do this. Maybe it was like more a nuanced thing, but it's still
Little
the
boy.
Little Boy.
Little Boy, my bad. But it's still the idea that this innocent, scare quotes, air quotes, whatever, innocent cartoon or icon can mean something so destructive. I mean, he is powered by radioactivity or nuclear power.
You know, it's really weird.
I think that would be. I mean, in any case, I think that'd be an interesting context of the situation, because like it was made in Japan.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's one of those subtext things that is like with the iceberg thing. Subtext is often underneath and kind of creeps up.
Like the reason, like the whole atomic bomb thing, that's why it should be taught. That's not why people should be avoiding it.
Right, exactly. But do you want? But with a Japanese teacher, I don't think the Japanese teacher was prepared to hear that from a kindergarten teacher. You would think that the kindergarten teacher would. Perhaps they could have discussed that. Nice. Wait. When did we? Did you do this?
No, we went in together. Remember?
Oh, nice.
Sorry about the little interruption there, folks.
Okay, so but you have this. You have the OneNote.
Oh, this OneNote thing that you have up there.
Yeah.
I can't edit it. I can.
May. Okay, so yeah, don't worry about the previous stuff. Just do the OneNote from when we're starting here. So exactly, I don't think the Japanese teacher was prepared to like defend himself in terms of like oh, this is a nuclear bomb thing. You know this, right? And we're not. He wasn't required to teach about it. It was just like a fun little thing lesson. The kids can ask that in their high school if they remember this sort of thing. But right, what does it mean? And that leads us to my next slide about bringing anime as like teaching material into a Western or just like, well, I don't know. I say Western, but could I just say any classroom? Is it dangerous or provocative to even propose getting anime into the classroom? We always like analyze film and stuff, but
I'll say this: it's very rare that you analyze an episode of a TV show or like more than an episode of a TV show, just because of the way the anime is formatted. It doesn't necessarily lend well to teaching unless you have a whole class dedicated to it.
well, let's not say TV show. I mean,
A movie?
no, not even like watching the show, just like bringing the icon, like bringing. I guess the Japanese teacher would have shown an episode, maybe he was just like, hey, Astro Boy is this thing to Japan, and then he would have showed a picture thing, not even
Maybe they have
showed
a
an
movie.
episode, right? But do the differences like with the hijab, the girl in the hijab, and the teacher who brought up nuclear war arms and such about Astro Boy, do you think these lend to an idea of differences in perceived values, where we look at this image that seems so different from anything that is grown in Western that comes naturally out of Western context, like Sailor Moon or Astro Boy, that we can't allow it in. And that's my question of transnational culture. This in a
Yeah.
globalized world.
Okay, so as for the examples of Sailor Moon and Astro Boy, I don't think there's any problems with that. But when you get to other things, like there are definitely like pretty big differences between Japanese and Western culture that would create some barriers for learning in the classroom. Just the way that sexual material is seen in Japan is wildly different from how we view it.
And I'm glad that Tim caught on to that. Yeah, it's that slippery slope of introducing Sailor Moon and Astro Boy, and then the kids going home and looking things up, and eventually getting to that point. Right? We can't be tracking them down. And I guess that's the danger here of the fact that Sailor Moon and Astro Boy are part of this larger beast organism that as soon as you start looking at one thing, you move on to the next thing, and then those next things might get you a lawsuit at some point.
I mean, it's bound to happen, to be honest. Like, even if it's like, for me as a kid, just looking at National Geographic magazine, or like the kids just looking at Sailor Moon one day, and then later in high school they say, oh, I want to know more about the Sailor Moon. I mean, the best thing we could do is just lead them towards an idea of like trying to find out what this stuff really is, and kind of like give them like good stepping stones.
Exactly. Yes. And this is what the mission of the talk block really is to provide those stepping stones, to carve them out into a shape that's useful, and then having a series of them so that people don't if people do find themselves like watching Bible Black or it's like wondering why these elements exist in anime, then we can have like the right questions in front of them or the right sort of resources so that they can examine the thing in front of them correctly rather than like being lost and then
Understanding like the culture behind it, so that it's not just weird.
yeah, it's not just weird, but yes. And so it doesn't have to be in the classroom. We don't have to introduce these material, but I think it's really, as we become more globalized, anime becomes more prominent as like a commercial thing in the West. There has to be some safeguards in terms of education or something like some I don't know, some dummies manual or
An idiot's guide to having good taste.
no, not good taste, just like
Just
just
what
like
I wrote.
just having no an idiot's guide to navigating anime without like
That'd be a pretty good title.
Understand.
having good taste.
Yeah, because the people get like, screw this guy. What do you mean by good taste? Or like, oh, I want to know about good taste, and then you can actually lead like, you know what, good taste doesn't really exist. You know?
No, it
It's just like
doesn't.
something you fucking like.
It's personal taste, not good taste.
Right. Good taste is sort of a parody. It's kind of what that
Yes.
anime snob is.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, Justice Evangelion.
That's the only taste.
That's a good one. That's like your Shakespeare right there.
People, yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on. That's a good point to have as we move forward. That this talk block is meant to be a resource, or a measuring, as well as a measuring stick that you can use to decide what to measure what you're seeing. Other stuff. So challenging. This slide says challenging perceptions of what anime is. The next slide we have two pictures. One on the left is Japanese people, or at least we assume the majority of them are holding up Japanese flags. The image on the right are cosplayers.
One Piece cosplayers.
One Piece. A lot of One Piece. I don't think.
I think this is
I don't
a pure.
recognize
Nope,
anyone.
nope.
Therefore,
Nope.
must be
That
One
no.
Piece.
Or is there just one person that's like soul eater?
Okay, there. Yeah,
No.
it might be. So they're mostly One Piece. But the idea is the question that I posted on this slide is: do these groups share similar values? In what ways do their values and backgrounds differ? For one, even though anime comes from Japan, you don't have to like anime or watch it to be Japanese. Whereas the other group, you sort of do have to like it. I guess you don't. You don't have to like.
What are you talking about? Tell me. What are you talking about?
On the right, do you have to like anime to be part of the group on the right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
guess so.
Typically, yeah.
Yes, I
Well,
guess
not,
it is.
not
Otherwise-
all anime, maybe just One Piece.
Yeah. You have to participate in it somehow. And
Yeah.
so, and yet somehow the perception is these people on the right represent the people on the left sometimes. Please stop.
Oh yeah.
Please pause me if I am blowing smoke because this is the territory where things get a bit muddy. Could I really say that? Could I say that what I see on the right makes people think that the people on the left share those values? And that's where I'm getting at.
So you're saying there's a perception that all Japanese people are kind of otaku, you know, in a sense, like
or at least it's a safe bet if you walk up to one is the idea.
people like they kind of see these parts of Japanese culture and say, oh, this is everyone in Japan. Is that kind
Not
of
just Japan. Like I'm glad you're stepping there, but I would even push that to rest of Asia.
So that's kind of like you're saying that's kind of what Westerners are perceiving.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially non-anime initiated.
Well, even those who are initiated sometimes fall
Even
into
that
trap.
exactly. So we got both Westerners. And they don't-
Initiated.
They're both Westerners, and they don't even talk to each other. They don't have to recognize each other, and yet they're both like conspirators in this like thing,
Global agenda.
global agenda against anime. But anyways, or against Asia. And this is the point where I have to mention my own agenda that I'm a non-Japanese Asian, specifically Vietnamese, and a lot of Vietnamese people watch anime, mostly through illegal means, because in Vietnam there's just not that much entertainment for kids, right? I have a cousin who has watched Gintama twice.
Nice.
It hurts.
Why does it hurt?
I'm proud of that. Wow.
Why does it hurt?
It's a really good damn good show.
Because he hasn't watched anything else.
Oh,
He hasn't watched that. He hasn't. It's those like when I mention anime, that's what he says, right? And there's this idea that you're not an anime fan just because you like one show. If you just like Naruto, then you're. If you like Naruto and you haven't watched anything else, then you're just a Naruto fan. You can't say you're an anime fan because we can all agree that anime is very varied, right?
Yeah.
True, but you can say you
I-
like this kind of anime.
I
Because
like the idea that people just watch an anime and not all of it. Like there are definitely people in the world who are anime fans, but the way I say I want people to just be able to say, oh, this show looks interesting, I'll watch it, regardless if it's anime or not.
And also, like, with the exception of Gintama, there's like a lot of different genres too. I mean, it's like a whole coalition of just like different
Make
arts.
me want to watch
But
it.
in terms of like ambitious storytelling, it's not that. It's still like
yeah, it's episodic. kind of.
it's episodic. It's just referential humor. In order to stand on its own, it can't stand on its own 2 feet. It requires like all these other sources of content in order to be what it is, right? And this will be another topic that we'll touch on. I'll be listening to this podcast again just to pick things out and have that for future themes.
Yeah.
But the idea of plot, of watching anime, because all anime share narrative for the most part. Like you can put it on a grading scale. Some anime have no narrative, but that's still on a grading scale compared to other. Because anime, this is a, I think this is the next slide. Yeah, anime as fiction first. I'll get to that. We'll move on here. This is the slide with banner of Macadamia, which was the conference on Asian popular cultures at MCAD. This thing has been going on for 12 years. I first learned about it freshman year of college when I was watching Kaiji on like this one source that I got it from, and at the end there was like an advertisement for something, and then like after 2 hours of like rabbit holing, I ended up finding out about Macadamia, even though it's like right next door to me basically, in terms of like transportation. And so I went there the first year. It was super cool, led by this person, Frenchie Lunning, who was a mini U of M graduate some time back. But the idea is there are people who care about anime on an academic level of all sorts, and it's super cool. And so I'm going to talk about this one guy, Brent Allison, who's a PhD. His studies focus on trying to bring, I could say like non-Western culture stuff into, but it's basically anime. He teaches other things, but his goal is, his topic was that, to bring anime into K-12 education. I'm gonna break it down to the stuff that was relevant to me. He had a lot of other cool stuff, so if you want to talk about it, come up to me and I'll do my best to convey what he's talking about. But anime as fiction first. We see anime, we see thumbnails. There's this thumbnail culture where we celebrate anime through like, just whatever fans make of it into Tumblr work or whatever. But at the core of what we're looking at when we're watching 22 minutes of any show, it's that.
Or if it's Katana Gatari.
Or Katana Gatari, which is an hour long.
There's exceptions to everything.
But the rule is, the core idea is that there are pieces that progress to an end. That's fiction, right? Beginning, middle, end. That's what all anime, because it's a commercial product, is.
Not all shows have an end.
3-0.
The idea is that there will be no.
Oh, we gotta get you off that horse.
Yeah, get me off that horse.
The idea is that there is a time and there's a commercial, but the studio won't make any more of it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if there's not a problem, but see, you recognize that there is no end in terms of a plot, right? You can recognize that. And
There's an end in terms of emotional setup fulfilled in the show. So I mean, there's definitely a bit of a difference between talking about adaptations sometimes, because if it's an incomplete adaptation, then when we're talking about the fiction, are we going to be talking about the actual story, or are we going to be talking about just the slice of the story? Because usually the slice of the story contains like a story of its own, but adaptations are slightly different.
yeah, adaptations. That's another theme that maybe we'll tackle down.
We will have to talk about
Yeah,
that
the
until
idea.
right now.
Exactly. Yes, it will require at least 30 minutes to an hour. But we'll capture the nuggets of it. But back to anime as fiction first. What's our time looking right now? We have about 7 more minutes.
7 more minutes. Something like that.
So we'll wrap up soon. Anime as fiction first. We'll talk more about that in a later thing. This presentation is basically just breaking down possible future themes. Anime as fiction first. Emotional resonance, artistic perception, cognitive refinement. Basically, learning how to see what you're seeing in a more critical mindset. Yeah. Being able to break it down and all
Looking past the bouncing chests and all that.
Yeah,
See,
and knowing
that's
that
why I don't like Keijo. Nobody cares about the fiction. Everybody just likes the visuals.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's like true for there's always a show like that for every season, right? But
Yes.
that's just sort of like the
I don't like
mix.
them.
Right, I know, and that's fine because there's all these other shows. Every season there's like a mix of shows for everybody. That anime has something for everybody is the idea, right? You don't like the Keijo, you can watch. For me, Magical Girl Raising Project. I keep mentioning it. You guys gotta get on this.
Cultic 9 got pretty weird yesterday. Ooh.
I don't doubt it. It's
Ooh.
called Cultic 9. What were you
Ooh.
expecting?
It's a remake of The Sixth Sense.
I don't watch any of this. What's this about?
This
Okay,
is
this slide is super important in terms of just what we're going to see, what we see and what we are going to see. There are images on the slide. with Death Note and the actor playing the U.S. adaptation, we see Motoko Kusanagi and Scarlett Johansson for the Ghost in the Shell.
They actually are making a live action Akira, and I want to stay away from that. It's gonna be terrifying.
We also have big companies like Hulu, Amazon, and Netflix. They're starting to see commercial viability. Shin-Chan's being picked up by Hulu. Well, I mean, Hulu's already got big catalog, but Shin-Chan's like a poster child for all of it. Cabaneri was picked up on by Amazon, but that was kind of buried. So there's a question of what kind of promotion these companies actually will give.
We're also getting some Western companies are actually publishing the shows now. I believe Toonami, which is Adult Swim's Red Block, they're actually producing Fully season 2 and 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot to mention that.
I think they already made another show. Plus, you got shows like
Space Dandy. I was gonna say Boondocks. Space Dandy was really nice because it released first on the Western audience and then to the Japanese, which was hella good. Yes.
Well, that's because it's the guy who made Cowboy Bebop. Like he basically wants to make Western cartoons, and he does a really good job with that. It's not necessarily what I adore, but I think Cowboy Bebop
it covers that demographic or segment.
Yeah.
And we also have, in terms of music, Medion and Porter Robinson, high-profile electronic artists, doing something with A1 Pictures on Shelter, and a lot of emotional porn, speculative fiction. It's very effective at what it wants to do. What does that mean for like future? Will there be more future collaborations like this?
Yes.
How will that be
Just to know,
perceived?
we should probably define emotional porn at some point as well, because just saying that like that makes it a little.
Why'd you say porn anyway? Emotional porn. What is that?
It's like a lot of it. Okay, so on the screen is just it has. Okay, how do I break it down?
We use porn as
everything
it's gratifying.
Ever been on Reddit?
It's gratifying.
There's a subreddit for this, like Earth porn, freaking everything.
Food porn.
Yeah, food porn.
Okay,
but
it's satisfying. It's like excess gratification
Exactly.
through
talk a little bit
emotions.
more about like dark culture, because we've had Hatsune Miku who like appeared on David Letterman.
That was crap. Holy crap.
It was funny.
Recent?
No. And then they also had Hatsune Miku open for Lady Gaga. So I think Vocaloid may be part of it, depending on how much more that.
How much we relate Hatsune
Well,
Miku
it's been
to
there
anime,
for a long time.
not just like
It's
anime.
anime.
That was anime.
It's anime.
It doesn't have a show. It doesn't have a
It's,
series.
It has.
Look at Supersonic though.
They're creating shows with them at least.
All right. Last bit of on the slide is James Cameron. You all know who James. But if you don't, Titanic, Avatar, The Blue People, not the M Night Shyamalan one.
And Avatar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coming soon.
For real?
Yes.
I'll watch them.
Maybe.
He is making, or he's producing, and then this other guy is directing Battle Angel Alita, arguably one of the best science fiction, stories to come out of.
Is it a show?
It is a manga. It became a really bad OVA, but the manga is super
I was
good.
gonna add to my list.
Yeah, the manga is good.
We're definitely gonna have to have an episode about manga here too.
Oh yeah, it's really interesting how some of these like 'cause when they're adapting these things, you think they'd only just take a really popular anime and adapt that because like there's not as much work there. But like some of these people are actually like taking manga and adapting that. I do trust it when they're trying to directly adapt a manga to a movie. You know,
There's not as much like.
well obviously they're gonna be paying more attention to the source.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean,
they basically have the storyboard right in front of you.
I'm just kind of flummoxed that Alita never got like a full series. She only got like this 2 episode. Now we're getting a movie by James Cameron. Like what a leap. Anyhow, and then last but not least, well maybe the least, Sword Art Online's live action TV series. Not sure how that's gonna play out because no more. Besides the rumors, I mean, besides like a couple of writers having been signed on to this project, we don't know much else about it. Actually, no, I think there are some actors and actresses also on board, but we're gonna have to wait on that.
It's ABC Family probably. Is
it ABC? I forget.
Who else could it be?
Did they already take the rights?
Nobody has the rights right now. It might be
sci-fi.
It might be streaming. It might be sci-fi. But unless it's FX or like HBO, like those are the two only two real things. Like,
but then they would have to really up the mature content.
Oh yeah, but those are really the only two contenders I see like being actually like really really consistently solid Western television. Like you got channels like NBC and Fox, They just throw.
But then that brings up the question: who? I like that Zach brought this up at one point. You asked who is the target audience for this live adaptation. Would it be the people who watched the original? Would they watch it? Did they watch the original because of the pretty colors and like certain very anime?
Live action is a whole different beast.
I believe the reason Sword Art Online is popular. Let's say that the demographic is probably like middle school to high school age boys who play video games, probably MMOs. They're like, oh, there's this show here about people who play MMOs, and he gets a girlfriend.
Those people would already be aware of anime. They would just this would just accelerate.
No, not everybody.
No, I feel like with Naruto, it's a really interesting premise. That's what made me watch the show at first. Like MMO where you die in real life. I
feel as though those people.
Let's think about like what the most popular shows in the West are. We got Attack on Titan, which is like a really interesting premise. Death Note, like literally just tell me what it's about.
But it feels as though
Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece still, I believe.
And those are still interesting premises.
But for some reason, I feel as though those shows they just accelerated the time that people who would already watch anime would get into anime.
I didn't watch anime.
The success of Attack on Titan kind of reminds me.
No, the idea is you would have watched anime anyways, even without Attack on. It would be another show.
Attack on Titan. A lot of people who don't watch anime watch it.
Exactly. Yeah.
My physics teacher.
We don't have to do like a project to look this stuff up because it different animes cater to different tastes, different people get involved.
Yeah,
different things happen.
I think like there are some shows that are just like the premise is really interesting, and those are the ones that kind of get popular in the United States. But bringing this back to like what Sword Art Online's demographic is, yeah, I think it'll definitely be. It'll probably be online streaming because that's where a lot of the people who want to watch it, kind of the gamer crowd would go.
Yeah, but I feel like I said, it feels as though for new people, I wonder if Sword Art Online will bring in many new people. I think it would just like get the views of people who already know about Sword Art Online. All right.
I think it would. I think it
definitely will because it's something new that if nobody ever heard of anime, it's like, oh, what is this about?
Yeah.
But for the people who watch it without know any context of anime, would they just be like, oh, a sci-fi show with fighting swords?
No.
Would the adaptation just make it that way?
Let's
it wouldn't have any anime suggestions.
People really enjoy Sword Art Online, whether or not you enjoy it. But there are people who they look at it and the concept and the premise is so interesting for them, they just love it. Yeah. And Sword Art Online is going to do that to people.
As an adaptation?
As an adaptation. No matter how good or bad it is, it's still going to capture that, wow, this is cool factor. And then people are going to get hyped about it.
But is it going to be cool because it's in live action? And will that coolness transfer into animation?
Well, you mean...
Yeah, will the new people who watch live action say, oh, this is cool? Will they like the animation?
Probably. I think there's something just inherently awesome of animation.
But remember,
the live action
might take away the Japanese stuff that informed the animation, like the tentacle stuff and the pointy hook.
Oh, for sure, because it's a different medium, so they have to work around some way. I mean, it shouldn't. That's a good thing about transitioning from a manga to a light novel to anime and then to a live action. They're supposed to stand up by themselves. They shouldn't really rely too much on what the first.
Right, but then I'm asking what this new audience would think about the anime. Well, so we'll tackle that.
Kill Bill had an anime scene. It was freaking awesome.
So very. I'll say.
Which is fun because actually the same people that made Ghost in the Shell did that animation scene in Kill Bill.
Production IG, yeah. Yep. They are awesome. I love them.
Why do we care?
They also made a Mass Effect anime. I need to watch that.
No.
Tonight.
I don't.
All right, so the time limit did go, but let's just wrap up here. This says Fess Up Tree. Why do you care about? But we can say why do we care about this at all? I mean, I prompted this, but if you guys,
I think I can talk about why I care about how many people get into anime, because I'm sick of there being kind of a negative perception for all anime when you have shows like Keijo existing. Like that's what people assume every show is like, and Kill la Kill. But don't get me wrong, I love Kill la Kill. It's great. But I wish people could see there are really genuinely interesting things that are being done in anime that simply aren't being done in the West. So
when you say
being an anime fan should not be seen as a negative thing. It's just the things you can see in anime you can't see.
And when you say that, you mean anime like Sakuga, super cool animation as well as storytelling.
There's no Sakuga in live action. They can't do that. They can't. You'll never see something where like Monogatari, which I finished up last night, and it's visually speaking, I was just having a great time. My eyes were just so happy.
We'll
Like,
talk about
there's
Shogun.
no live action movie that can get that feeling where what you're seeing on screen just visually is just the main reason you want to keep watching.
Yes, and we'll talk about Sakuga at a future point. I just want to squeeze this idea in of with recently there was a trailer or not trailer, a little video about what's his name, the director for Ghost in the Shell, the original, going to meet with the cast and crew of the adaptation. And he was like, "Oh, I like this a lot. It's great," or something like that. And then we pan over to like the director and Scarlett Johansson, and Scarlett's like, "Yeah, I love the director," as in like the adaptation. He's such a visionary. Like, there's no talk. They don't talk to the Japanese. It's not Masamune Shirow. That was the manga. I forget who.
Oh, the director of the movies? Okay, so the Ghost in the Shell manga and the Ghost in the Shell movies are really different
It isn't. Okay.
thematically in every way, and I think they want to try and be like the movies where it was like sort of philosophical.
Yeah. But what happened was that Scarlett Johansson's just like the director's such a visionary. She didn't talk about like the director of the anime, and that got me to wondering, along with Doctor Strange, is that the name of the movie? Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
A lot of people praised it, but not many people talked about, besides the Asian community, that Tilda Swinton and all that. Will these adaptations, if they're helmed by white cast and crew, will the originals be buried in favor of these directors? Will everyone praise the directors and forget about the anime just because
If it
they're what?
good,
If it's good,
probably
but-
not.
If it's really good, then yes, probably, and then that's a good thing though. However, those originals will
yeah.
still be there.
Yeah, the original will still be good.
And if people really like the live action one, they will go to that original source, and then they'll find that satisfaction again. I haven't seen Ghost in the Shell, but have heard a lot of good things about it.
Okay.
And that's the thing though. If it does good, then that's great. In fact, that's pretty good. There's nothing. What's the bad thing about it?
The bad thing is I worry that this is what this is what I worry I'll hear.
I don't want people who like haven't seen much anime before just go and watch Ghost in the Shell because that movie is just boobs. It's like
What?
first shot
I would
you
argue
see
that, but
boobs, boobs, boobs.
also no.
What's the bad thing again?
The director
It's not
for
bad
the
thing. I
original
want
Ghost in
to
the Shell
see-
was Mamoru Oshii.
Oh, shoot, thank you.
He's
Um,
good.
What I'm afraid of is that we made a better anime than this anime ever did. White people should always make things.
I mean, who the hell's gonna say that statement though? I
I
mean,
mean, not the
that's
statement
kinda
outright, but it's the
It's
idea.
like a freaking fanboy anime that nobody hears, and he just on Reddit trying to put all these phrases like, "Oh, we beat the animes again."
We beat the anime.
No, it's not the beat the anime, but it's the idea of the white person doing it better at all times. Like, if the shows are good, look, I'm
you're
on the
right.
line.
You're on a good discussion point. I'm trying to think of it.
Yeah.
I don't. The white savior thing is real, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
just
definitely.
it's on a continuum. I know that, and it might not be too intense. Maybe it won't be too. Maybe, like you said, both will be celebrated. But what if people will only see the movie and they refuse to watch the anime because they think in this way?
Then that's their choice. I mean, they shouldn't be obliged to just watch the show. I mean,
They're not obliged, but like they outright reject it because they watch the adaptation, right? And then they're like, oh, there's an anime. I'm not gonna watch it. I mean, I already watched this other.
I could see.
But in terms of like the reasoning for it is that it's an inferior product because it's not from a Western.
then that's their problem. They're just really close-minded. I mean,
Yeah.
however, there's not. I'm being optimistic, and I'm hoping there's not that many people that will do that.
Okay.
The loudest ones will say that for sure, but I'm pretty sure with common sense, people would want more because if there's more source, they're definitely gonna eat it up. If it's really good to them, live action, they're gonna definitely want to learn more about it.
And I don't know if Ghost in the Shell's gonna do that. It'd be cool if it did.
I'm not saying just Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell might be the starting point for
That's.
future.
I mean, we can kind of discuss that now because it's super relevant. But
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of a context reason for the whole thing.
Because people kept saying that Doctor Strange is super amazing, right?
Yeah.
And Tilda Swinton and
Is it?
I
How
heard
does
good
that?
things about it. Yes.
How is that related to this? Though? Is that?
It's technically like a live action adaptation of a comic. So
Oh, okay.
One of the teachers for Doctor Strange, with the country, because she was supposed to be Tibetan. However, she's shown as the actor as a white woman, I believe, but she just painted to look like she's Chinese.
Oh, that's bad.
It's all there's a controversy, but the also controversy is that they don't want to show Tibet because they want to make sure the movie's good in China, but China and the Tibets are
Okay.
right. So China, there's also this idea of China having all this like purchasing power, and they get to decide how things look, and that bothers me a lot too, because I hate how it's like Japan and Chen, Korea.
America.
They
America.
have bad history though.
Yeah.
That's true.
I know, but they get more spotlight. They get to have more say. It's just it seems to be a conversation between these three countries,
Yeah.
Japan, China, and it bothers me because
It does suck too because they're altering a good piece of art just because of some sort of political crap.
Yeah.
Economics too.
And then again, though, like when you get those super big budget movies, they're always super meticulously thought out to be marketed perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is legit movie making in America where they don't care about that kind of stuff, but like blockbusters aren't going to do that.
right, especially since the movie industry is. I mean, this was a while ago.
It's,
It was tanking
It's
so
a
much.
money sink. You know, it's just all that matters there is money.
Yeah.
So that's another theme that we'll touch on. In the end, does anime need figuring out? I know we said wrap up. How
Yeah.
do you guys want to get an answer, response to this? Is being curious about this useful? Does it mean figuring out? What does figuring out mean?
I think being able to understand that like these are the differences in the culture, so that when you do watch anime and you see a scene with some gratuitous fan service, you're like, okay, I know why that's there, and I can see that there are some parallels to that in, you know, Western movies, like you know,
Right. I mean,
Megan
sex
Fox.
sells. Not just Megan Fox, but
She's
like
fan
a lot of
service.
things. She is. There's just no.
The Lego movie had a tsundere in it.
Okay.
It's not that weird. It's
Just
not-
want to qualify that this doesn't just stop at understanding differences between cultures. This
Yeah, I know.
goes to it's a stepping stone towards wondering about
Mhm.
why do we respond as a culture to this thing in this way, and why does another part of our culture, like we talked about earlier, there are two segments of Westerners who respond differently, and yet they're both Westerners or whatever. I mean, that's a big ass population of people, but still. And so wondering about that as we become more globalized and among other things. Okay. Yeah, and then that's that. Okay. Closing comments that will help us transition to the next time we do this.
So what do we have as the topic for next time?
We have several. I mean, I'm gonna try to mine through this.
Let's have it a bit more focused. You know, it's
I mean,
built on-
I'll say right now.
Just kind of a free form. I think would be a good.
Future freeform.
We'll
Not
freeform
free
around
form.
one specific theme.
One specific theme.
We have several themes.
I feel
Okay.
like we didn't.
I
Like,
can't
we have
see-
so many different themes.
Here, let me pull up the Excel.
Yeah, I can't
We
see here.
wanted to like get deeper in on one of these things, but like we had to like go to the next slide. It's like,
I don't get why it's showing it like this.
you have to make those things.
I'll right click it to format if you want, but we can do it later.
Ding ding.
No. There we go.
Okay, so that was our first theme. The other themes that I posted up, and there will probably be more after I go through this.
I am very interested in the theme of one true taco man.
Yeah, what makes for a real anime enthusiast?
I'm
This is
already.
just the idea of like who has the best taste or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter.
The answer, of course, would be me.
Just because you watch some.
There is no
yeah.
right taste, if you ask me. But
There's no right
There's
taste.
no right taste, no wrong taste.
There are conversations like these where everyone has a healthy perspective and we all contribute to.
We can argue all we want.
The thing that makes you, I would argue that the thing that does make you have good taste is if you can back it up, present yourself to your opinion, even if you're gonna go under
Mhm.
fire. If like, oh, I like Sword Art Online, however, you present why you do.
I want people to do that because I'm sure there's actually some redeeming qualities to Sword Art Online, but like people
There
go
are.
into the like when people are going into the show, they go into it like wanting to know why it's so bad.
Mhm.
That's why people watch it these days.
That's true. That's true.
So it's like I'm sure there are some redeeming qualities to it.
I will say it definitely redeems itself in my eyes in the second season. It does a lot better, but I mean, that's a discussion for another time.
Second season with
yeah,
elves.
yeah.
No.
No.
No, I'm talking about
Gun
Gale.
Gale.
Gale online. No, the elves. There's
So you're
the
talking about
whole
second
month.
half. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second half of first
Not
run,
incredible.
I suppose.
The horrible.
Okay. Yeah, that we have
Now
criteria.
that would need some.
There are shows that
Support.
have had really bad arcs, and it's like, why does
Yeah,
that
even
make
Hunter
Sword
x
Art
Hunter has had bad. Even JoJo's had bad arcs.
JoJo's
in
Wait,
manga.
Jojo, that's impossible.
No, in the later arcs.
I don't know. I mean, some of the JoJo's are just weird.
No,
The later arcs are
there's-
really
there's
good.
pluses and
No,
minuses
there's
to
one.
everything.
There are two later arcs that get good, so I've heard, but then there's just one that's just
7 and
abysmal.
8 or so if you're really.
I think about like volume 8 I heard.
I've heard it's
getting better.
really good.
Okay, so other themes are criteria in anime. Do we need to be able to measure whether shows are good or not, among other things?
Interesting.
Mirror on the wall, taking responsibility and keeping things real in terms of like being seeing the differences in culture as well as not taking anime as this thing that will change the world. It's still like a niche thing, but it's worth talking about because of all the things we've talked about.
Yeah.
But people overthink it or underthink it, and so that's where the problems lie. And so, and then there's educate anime. I have to write the rest of this.
Educating like, anime in the classroom.
No, not
Okay.
not that as much as just like there's this idea that we have to like teach people about.
Teach people stuff before they can really.
No, that's a lot.
Go on, explain it to me.
Yeah, do we need to teach or correct people's
Wait, teach.
Correct people's understanding of anime. I mean, I'm sick of being looked down on.
Oh, that's a loaded one.
I don't like that.
That's a bit loaded.
The answer is
We'll-
yes.
We'll fight that.
You need to educate them that
Sure.
nobody should watch Steins Gate, right?
Yeah, stay away from that. It's
Nice.
bad.
I will note we should probably do a little longer introductions of ourselves next time
Oh,
to
yeah,
talk
about
about how we did start watching anime. 'Cause
We
we didn't really
did-
mention
We didn't really
that.
talk about that. I'll tell you
Right.
right. We thought more about your presentation.
That'll be opening for the next time. That'll be fine.
We're gonna move that to one more.
Well, we did the presentation because this was a trial just to we have a template to work off of. Next
Yeah.
time, if we get more people, then we can have fun, right?
My first anime was Corey Taihan.
What's Corey
I
time?
thought you said Corey in the house.
That is from the house.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I wrap this? This was
You just right click the cell. If you want to
Of course, the theatrical remakes of that are a lot
Format.
better.
wait,
Yeah, that one. It's something about overflow.
oh yeah, it was wrap.
Yeah, rap text.
That's around here, right?
Yep, it's gonna be in
There you
Ding ding.
go. Okay, and then I'll have media. Watch out! I'll be using this guy. This is the guy that I mentioned that one night when I said he's the guy that Legend of the Galactic Heroes became popular through, but no one wants to acknowledge it.
Mhm.
Among other things, he is patient zero for like everything in anime, right? A lot of things in anime
I
right now.
just watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I heard. Well, I heard
Is
about
it,
it. Like,
have people actually have you watched it?
No, I watched up to episode 16.
Is it not good?
No,
or is it good?
it's
It's a drama,
good in
isn't
terms
it?
of like all the things that it does well as a narrative.
Oh, okay.
I can see it deserving number one just in terms of what I'm seeing. That I could disagree, but
I'm
What
not,
I'm waiting
I'm not
for-
watching it expecting it to be.
here there are a lot of other shows to watch first, and I recommend watching other shows because
Mhm.
they're legal. Because Legend of the Galactic Heroes, there's going to be a DVD release at some point in the future, stateside. But I'm not sure if it's going to be an adaptation, like a 2-hour thing or something else, because you can't. I wouldn't know how they would cram 116 episodes in 2 hours or like a movie. But there's something in the works for getting Legend of the Galactic Heroes legal and stateside. So just
That'd be
watch out for
nice.
that. It would be really cool. But there are a lot of other shows to watch.
I mean, there are plenty of shows to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's sometimes I just like want to just jump into a show and see how it turns out.
Like our official sponsor, Crunchyroll, for Anime Society.
You guys, go to crunchyroll.com/I love Tim. to get 50% off on
Nice.
We gotta get past this.
Okay, should I edit this somehow?
subscribe to Loot Crate with.
Should I?
Just shift it down, actually, because I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Buy our T-shirts.
So this was just talking about getting themes, right?
Yes, I want that to
Yeah.
actually be like next week's topic, because it's gonna be pretty fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Search. There we go.
Perfecto.
Okay, so
Spicy pizza.
we want to do this the 20th? Okay. Or do you think we should give people time? Oh man, this is like exam
Yeah.
time.
Getting
so I'm not
closer,
sure
yeah.
how we're gonna like organize this. Should we make it another time other than Sunday, or should I say TBD for now and then I'll have you correspond with the group and see what might happen?
I'll just say,
We'll put Sunday for now. We'll
Sunday
change
seems
it
to
if
be
need
fine. If somebody's got a problem with it, like,
especially this early is fine.
yeah,
Okay, so I'll
it's
put,
pretty.
Stellar.
and I guess we can put. Oh well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was 11, 13, 16, and I can put this up here. All right, guys, close. Ooh no, what happened?
Well, it's right here.
Okay, yeah, actual closing thoughts. That was kind of.
One of these days, we're gonna have a big old talk about who the best girl in Sailor Moon is.
I
We
need to watch
can't.
Sailor
We
Moon.
can't. We don't need to. We can stop with this block here is meant for us to move beyond Marvel Wars, right? Isn't it? Is it not?
Yes,
Um,
it doesn't
yeah.
can have them. I would
I've
say
never seen.
you can take anything anybody says about anime with a grain of salt,
Oh yeah.
including us.
You can
That's,
also.
that's
yeah,
always the most important thing in discussion.
Okay. This has
Joel?
been the first
Is that a reference to
anime
Girl
talk
Or
block. I am Tree Vo. If you want to contact me, I am VO0000, that's 4 zeros, 14 at stthomas.edu.
And I'm Luis Castellanos again. I'm always on Facebook on the UST Anime Society page or the group page. You can contact me at CAST0051 at stthomas.edu. Or just come to club. I mean, we're watching JoJo and Happy Terms Sakamoto right
Second one was really good.
It
You
is
should
really
watch that.
So when is club and at what time?
Oh, what's club? I don't know. It's like like Thursday or something, right?
Hey,
7:30 p.m.
If I haven't
maybe.
watched all these shows, can I still come to club?
Oh, sure. I mean, go to Crunchyroll to catch up. Official sponsor again. Hella good people.
Don't go to Kiss Anime. Ew.
What's a KISS anime?
Oh, again,
Gross.
it's in Anderson Student Center, 238. If you're new.
We'll put this in the show. I keep saying put this in the show notes because that's what podcasters say.
Oh yeah.
And I guess we'll put this on
Check the link in the
SoundCloud
doobly-doo.
as a start. We'll probably put this like on official. I don't know who listens to podcasts in this group, so I'll just put it on SoundCloud. You do, but like through like Stitcher or what programs do you think people use?
Oh, like I don't know. I just go on YouTube.
Okay,
Or
YouTube.
like
you can
there are
put-
good apps too.
You can put it.
I guess we can make a YouTube. Okay, so we'll,
I've got a fair deal.
I got the
We got time to figure it out.
We have time to do this.
okay.
Oh wait, let's do our names again. So
Tree or Tony.
Luis Castellanos
Tim Callies.
and
Zach Schreier.
if you can hear me, yeah.
And
And
this
our
has
cute
been
mascot character.
the Anime Talk Blog.
We need to get a mascot.
Goodbye. Oh, or sayonara.